King's Landing is located in the Crown Lands, one of the regions within Westeros. King's Landing enjoys a nice climate and life is luxurious, at least for those who can afford it. With 500,000 inhabitants, it's dangerously overpopulated.
We headed northerly towards King's Landing, every step bringing us closer to my life as a man of the Night's Watch, unable to believe my luck. A few weeks prior I was a maester who wanted for nothing, but now I was being led to the cold of the war because of a rumour started by an old and sour man. Nevertheless, this is my future and I am coming to accept it. We drew closer to King's Landing, we saw it from a great distance away. The unmistakable view of the huge and menacing Red Keep that seemed to cast shadows on all unlucky enough to be under it. We could see the sept of Baelor, centre of the faith of the Seven. The weather was nice, not hot, but cool as the breeze whisked past us as we rode onward, closing in on King's Landing.
Looks may deceive. Of the 500,000 people living within King's Landing, a tiny portion enjoys all its comforts the city has to offer. The commoners live in the lower regions of the city. The further you make your way down, the more poverty you can find. The slums in King's Landing are called Flea Bottom. Flea Bottom is a maze of worn down buildings, dark alleys, cheap brothels, and low-class inns. All the way down to the bottom of these slums, you find Gin Alley, the worst part of the city, where criminals and feces litter the streets.
We arrived at the city gates. The walls were much larger than that of any city I'd seen before. Outside were market holders trying to flog their wares to us as we passed. This made me question why such a notoriously rich city had people who seemed so desperate to make coin. We passed the beggars and made our way through the city gates where, to our surprise, there were more market stalls with people trying to sell items that seemed shoddily made at an above worth rate. We passed them by without parting with a single piece of copper and walked through what looked like a slum. The smell was almost unbearable as hordes of unwashed peasants brushed by us. The scruffy looking people walking by with dirt on their faces as though they'd not bathed in weeks. A one-legged beggar held out his hands as we passed and we took pity on him, throwing him a piece of copper. It had barely touched the old man's hand before a youngster came along and grabbed it straight out of his grasp and ran away. We moved on in awe of what I'd just seen. A busy harbour and ships delivering goods to be bought and sold in the city could be seen as we walked. A man disembarked his black-sailed ship to cheers of his crew. I overheard his name being Davos, but according to the cheers of his crew he was also known as Captain Onion. This place was a stark contrast compared to Highgarden. Peasants begging, injured soldiers left and forgotten at the gates begging for their coin, and city guards on every street.
King's Landing also holds a religious centre of the Faith of the Seven. The Great Sept of Baelor stands in the middle of King's Landing. It's being used for holding religious ceremonies, royal weddings, and stands as a pillar of the faith. The sept is named after Baelor Targaryen, one of the Targaryen kings known for his pacifism. It's built right over an underground sept, built long before King's Landing was raised.
We approached the Sept of Baelor where the Faith of the Seven were housed. An air of familiarity crept upon me as we passed it, seeing a group of volunteers were taking their vows as I had done while becoming a maester. So similar as I dealt in healing and what some refer to as magic, whereas the Sept were all about praising the giver of life itself. My mind wandered as I thought of giving your life to praising the gods in hope of a better existence. I was sharply shaken to my senses as a soldier raced past on a horse wearing stark armour, red leather and black furs, very distinctive. He almost knocked us down as he raced by, shouting how Brandon and Rickard Stark were dead, killed by the Mad King, burned alive. The peasants erupted into deafening noise as conversations turned into shouting, which turned to weeping and mourning for the deaths of people they idolised. The Stark soldier quickly left the city, possibly a wise move as it could be that the Mad King would kill any Stark supporters.
The building towering over King's Landing is called the Red Keep. The Red Keep has served as a castle and residence for many Targaryen kings in the past. The Red Keep wasn't built overnight. After Aegon set foot in Westeros, in the area of King's Landing, he ordered to build his first fort right where the Red Keep stands today. This fort was called the Aegon Fort and looked nothing like the Red Keep. After his victories, he ordered the Red Keep to be constructed. 48 years later, after he gave the order, the Red Keep was finished. Maegor Targaryen I ordered to kill all those who worked on the castle to preserve its secrets.
We moved towards the Red Keep. I was curious to find which, if any of the rumours were true about this place. It is said that there are 4 floors of holding cells within its walls. The 2 upper floors for your thieves and the likes who are serving time for lesser crimes. The 3rd floor is known as the Black Cells as it is in complete darkness and was for your more serious offenders, such as murderers in opposition of the king. The 4th floor was a myth. We knew not if it was true, but it was said to be a house of horrors as anyone taken there would be subjected to inhuman levels of torture until they broke and gave out everything they knew. Those who were supposedly taken to level 4 were reportedly never seen again. The lower levels of the keep were constructed under the order of Maegor Targaryen for reasons unknown. What is known is that Maegor ordered all workers who helped build the Red Keep be killed after construction was completed so as to keep its secrets hidden.
Thanks for watching part 1 of our King's Landing video. If you did enjoy, please support us by leaving a like and a comment. Also, click the eye in the sky for more videos. Love, Lore of Ice and Fire.